Hi, how's it going, folks? I'm back finally with an outdoor reading. I've been kind of chomping at the bit to get back outside to do some of these layouts, but it's been a long, dark, wet winter, so it's been hard to do that around here. And I always get a little nervous at the spot right by where I live. A lot of people like to enjoy it too, so doing a layout outside on a day like this, it's a little bit of a gamble what's going to happen, either with the shipping industry or people coming down here to check out whether they want to try to fish later or whatever. I'm also not sure with this mic how it's going to do with the wind, so this is going to be a little bit of an experimental upload. But I just wanted to use this opportunity, especially to be by the water, by the river, to let you all know that I'm going to be starting a new upload on this channel, and it's going to be especially for Scorpios. I think Scorpios are kind of a maligned sign in the zodiac, and I am not a Scorpio, I'm a Leo, but I'm a Scorpio rising, and for a lot of my life I felt sort of out of step with the Leo energy to some extent. Some of it definitely resonates. I like to perform, I'm creative, I like to be on stage a little bit, but there's a lot of sides of me that are really contradictory to that, I guess. And so once I learned and found out about my birth chart and learned that I was a Scorpio rising, a lot of characteristics about myself made sense, almost even more than my rising or than my sun sign. I almost identify more with my Scorpio aspect of my chart. And I have a couple really powerful Scorpio women in my life that I adore. And I often turn to them when I know that they'll understand parts of me that other people don't, or that people think are weird or anomalous or dark, or kind of, I often will be sort of told I'm intimidating or unapproachable, which often is weird to me because I've spent my life in service to the community. So I sometimes, but those are all aspects of having Scorpio in your chart. And so these layouts are going to be especially for people with a lot of Scorpio in their chart, or who are Scorpio, sun sign, Scorpio rising, whatever. A lot of my friends have a lot of Scorpio placements in their charts as well. And so these readings are going to be especially for us Scorpionic people who feel comfortable in the dark depths, you know, who often resent that toxic positivity culture in some ways, right? That doesn't acknowledge the sort of darker side of life that can be combative, that can be, you know, Scorpios get really accused of being crazy or revengeful or whatever, and our intensity at times is really needed, but people don't appreciate some of that quality, at least in this culture. So in honor of the full moon approaching in Scorpio, I just wanted to do a quick layout down here by the water. I'm on the Nichiwana, also known as the Columbia River here. This is a beautiful, important, and sacred river, and we're currently experiencing a kind of a difficult spring Chinook run. They closed this fishing season early. A lot of times right now what would be happening out here, I wouldn't even feel like I could do this reading because there would be people in hog lines and boats fishing for the springers, but that's not happening. They closed the fishing season for now. The other interesting truth about the spot I'm in right here is that this is a really popular site for people to poach sturgeon, and it's gotten pretty bad here actually because this is a known sturgeon hole, and if you catch an old sturgeon, especially if it has roe, it can bring in thousands of dollars because shady dealers in the food industry don't often care to ask where their product is coming from, right? So we've been kind of witnessing a lot of unethical fishing practices here. So that's another reason why I wanted to just highlight being here. And I care about this place, and I feel very fortunate to have grown up on this river, on the Washougal, which is a tributary of this river. So without further ado, I guess I'll go ahead and start our reading. And this is just going to be a general layout for the full moon in Scorpio. And I'm inviting any natural elemental energies to send or lend their energy to this. That's why I wanted to do this. I want to invite water, all the elementals and spirits to participate in this that want to. And this isn't going to be a very long layout. It's just going to be a briefer one because like I said, I don't know how the audio is going to be. If the wind is going to be really interfering, I'm going to have to, this is a little bit of an experiment. And I'm not sure yet how long or how often I'm going to post for Scorpio, if it's going to be weekly or monthly or what. I'm still kind of sorting that out, but just know that I'm going to have a playlist on this channel, especially for Scorpio, and probably for a while will be the only sign I read for. I may never expand beyond it. I don't know. I might try to also do some, like, I'm a Scorpio rising, Leo sun, and Libra moon. So I could see enjoying doing all three of those signs at some point, maybe, I don't know. So what's important for us to know for the Scorpio full moon, especially for us folks with a lot of Scorpio in our chart? What's going to be helpful for us to know? What kind of Scorpio energy can come through? What kind of water elementals can come through to guide us through this scorpionic energy? I'm also going to have to experiment a little bit with the setup because I can see that it's real rocky here, but I can see that you can't see the cards the way I have it set up, but I had to kind of experiment with the right setup. So let me see how I can fix that if I can here. A little disoriented. Sorry, I'm not used to doing this out here. I'm not in my little studio setup. So we have the Queen of Wands on the bottom of the deck, which I feel like is a little bit of a nod to me, honestly, because I'm a Leo and I'm out here doing this reading for us today for the Scorpio full moon. So I'm going to take that as a little sign for myself that this is a nice thing to be doing. And now excuse my back while I do this here. These cards have been coming up a lot in my, can you even see those? I can't tell because there's no point in me sitting like this if they're not even showing up on the screen. Yeah, you can't really see them. So the layout here in the current circumstance position is the High Priestess. So again, I feel like this is a little bit of an acknowledgement of working with nature, working with the elements, working with water, particularly around this full moon in Scorpio. I can't even state, really, I'm not an astrologist, but I can't state how powerful the influence of water will be right now, and building, and I love water, and I just really want to honor this river and this water. So the High Priestess being the sort of central card here is really important to connect with that witchy side of you, that scorpionic, dark, feminine water pole, right? This is going to be a great way to work with this lunar energy. The challenge position is the Seven of Cups, which has been showing up a lot. So trying to figure out where to focus our attention. We might be a little bit vulnerable to vice right now with this lunar full moon Scorpio energy. It might be a little deep and a little intense, and it might provoke some desire to indulge quite a bit, either in a bacchanalian way, like in a celebratory, like let's get drunk on wine and make love kind of way, or else in like a maybe a little bit of a risky, illusory kind of way where things can seem appealing but turn addictive real quick kind of thing, right? So this is the challenge position and energy to watch out for. The lesson and the advice for the Scorpio full moon is going to be the Temperance card. So really alchemizing whatever surfaces in our psyche, whatever wounds, whatever things that exist and dwell in the realm of our shadow or in our feminine pole within us that we may not be very acquainted with, getting connected to that alchemist, wise part of us that has the courage to face what's in our shadow and transmute it is going to be really useful for this full moon Scorpio energy. You can transmute it by releasing it. This building water, cleansing away, washing away full moon energy can be really powerful. Scorpio is a powerful healing energy, and that's why I think it's unfair that Scorpio gets so maligned. because healing involves facing pain and facing shadow and facing the dark elements of life and existence. And it's not always popular to do that, but it's what's important, right? If we're invested in healing. So Scorpionic energy is really powerful energy for healing. And this is really the lesson in this layout, which is, I think, beautiful. And in keeping with my desire to honor that part of the astrological chart. So, what's the advice for you on this full moon? The advice is going to be to indulge and enjoy it, the Nine of Cups. Dive deep into the realms of the water element. Dive deep into the oceanic depths of yourself, of your pleasure, of your own water within you. We are made of water. Listen to the water, right? Nine of Cups. Let's celebrate it. Celebrate this water energy as it's crashing through us and wanting to make itself known. This is amazing. I don't even want to speak through it. This is cool. This to me is a big signal to dive deep and dive in and really let yourself experience that pleasure. That's just gorgeous, and that's exactly the kind of stuff I was hoping for with doing this out here and getting nature involved, right? Getting the natural world involved in these messages. And then what's coming, if you indulge and kind of work with this lunar energy, is the Knight of Cups. So a really heart-centered, loving, giving and generous way of responding to the world. This could be something that you attract into yourself, some kind of a love offer, or it could be what you then show up as in the world, with a desire to serve, a desire to ride forward from your heart center, a desire to live more from your heart center, a desire to embrace the passion within you, the water element, the lunar aspects of yourself. These are not parts of us to be feared, but embraced. So now I'm going to pull one of these Oracle of the Rose cards. I've been loving this. Rose has been really a meaningful plant spirit for me and for a lot of people. I'm not alone. It's a favorite flower for a reason. But I wanted a deck especially that honors rose, and I found it really beautiful. What else to know? What else to know about this energy? I can't believe all the cups here. It's just cups, 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 cups. Really gorgeous, really awesome. The flirt. So indulge with this Nine of Cups. Indulge your heart, indulge your passion, indulge your love. This Knight of Cups, this Nine and Knight of Cups, and flirt. Really embrace this part of you. Embrace your sexual nature. That's what's coming into. I've heard one time that kind of a known archetype for sexuality is water and bodies of water. And in meditative practices, if you're asked to approach a body of water, some psychologists will interpret meaning around what kind of water your mind approaches and what it's drawn to, and that sends you messages about sex and your sexuality. So this could be a really wonderful time, this full moon in Scorpio, to really indulge that and to celebrate watermelon sugar, right? Or the feminine orgasm. So awesome. The caregiver, that's interesting. So that's another, sometimes considered a feminine quality, is caregiving and being nurturing, letting the water element nurture you, letting the water element cleanse you, embracing the caregiver and the nurturer within you, embracing your flirtatious energy and your heart center. All of the power of this heart center is really coming through here in a powerful way. I might gaze a little bit here into an ink blot. Kind of feeling pulled to do that. The natural world is really emerging through this card here. So I see two kind of bovine creatures and two leaping like elk here. And then the water element. So this is striking me as something shooting through the natural world here with this line running through the center. I feel like it's also a little bit of the dark side of this, which is kind of highlighting to me maybe some of the suffering that's happening in the natural world and the natural, these look like lungs. And if you can see here, like black lung, right? Like I'm thinking about extraction and coal, and how coal's a big controversy here, believe it or not, because of the rail line and the industry. The coal industry was wanting to send coal trains through here, and people raised holy hell about it. So to me, this ink blot is sort of identifying the wounds that are occurring right now to the natural world and to the planet, enacted by humans. And that's coming through here. It's a time for us to be aware of that and maybe send up our prayers that this way of living continues to be ended and done away with as we enter the new age, right? That's kind of hurting my heart, but that's the lance, that's the knife piercing the heart. There's all this beautiful, joyful, heart-centered energy, and this is the wounded side of that. This is the dark pole that we don't often want to look at. But being in this beautiful setting right here, I get uplifted and enjoyment and restored by the sun, by the water, by the energy of nature. But I also can't help but look around and see all of the damage, because just that way is industry and evidence of the damage of logging and using nature and the natural world as a commodity. And so it's a dual experience to be out here. It's uplifting and it's humbling and it's fulfilling, and it uplifts me, and it feels like I'm in line with my true purpose. And then to be reminded by a card like this that the animal kingdom is really suffering because of a lot of things that we've done. And I don't need to get preachy on here, because anyone who's found their way to my channel likely agrees. So I'm kind of preaching to the choir, but it's coming through here, and that's what I asked for. So I really want to thank you for being here, and thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing, and tune in for more Scorpio focused readings on my channel. And in addition, I'll continue my obsidian mirror scrying. In fact, I'll be doing one tonight for the full moon in Scorpio for my podcast, so check that out if you like that type of work, mirror gazing and mirror magic. I'm doing a podcast around that work. And then I also just have general tarot readings on here as well. So thank you for watching and for being here and for liking and subscribing. I try to remember not to hide behind these glasses all the time because they're pretty thick frames. But anyways, I really thank you, and I'm sending you all kinds of love and respect, and I hope you enjoy your full moon.